I'm Megan.
I'm Christy.
And we are
Homebrew
Murder Crew.
I just blew a spit bubble.
Whoops. Yeah. You get, I like that we don't have a recorded intro that we use every time.
I know. I like
pre-recorded, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I like that we do it different.
I know.
Every day.
Every
is
day.
So wonderful.
Yes.
It's me. I got bubbles on my teeth.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
What is up, Megan?
We just recorded an episode that was amazing.
Episode
mind blowing. Christy just blew my mind.
I hope I blow everybody else's mind away.
I
just
so
love
too.
to blow people's minds.
Yes. Blow people's minds. Yeah. Well, this is a microbrew, so we'll cut right to it.
Do it.
I am bringing you a microbrew today about the exploitation in the body donation industry.
Oh, what?
I don't know why I thought of this.
What? I would never. No, this is not a topic that I would ever think of.
I know, and for me too, I was like, "Is this a real thing?"
Google body. How did you come up with this? How did you find this? What led you to this topic?
What did lead me to this topic?
Just your mind.
I covered 3 cases in this. 3 specific cases, and one of those cases, which is what got me interested. Honestly, I wrote this a long time ago, but I can't remember. I'll tell you when we get to the case.
We'll get to it.
But it was kind of like one of those things where I was just covering this one specific topic, and then it
ballooned out
to because I never even knew that this existed. There is literally a body broker industry.
So I know that there's in the States, there's a body donation place or whatever, or is it for?
Are you thinking about the body farm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The body farm would buy bodies from these people.
Ooh.
Or get them donated to them by these people. Okay. So the body broker industry, it operates with minimal federal oversight and inconsistent state regulations. Ooh. It facilitates the commercial trade of human cadavers and body parts.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking not bearing the lead on this one.
No.
I buried the lead on mine.
I was just get straight to the main topic.
Not bearing the lead, yeah.
It's kind of fascinating, but it's morbidly fascinating, obviously.
Oh,
but,
of course.
These remains are primarily sourced through body donation programs. Because apparently you could obviously you can donate your body to science, which is something that is really heard of, but
I would donate my body to science, and science would be like, no, thank you.
Yeah, right. Not true. Don't. Okay. These remains are primarily sourced through body donation programs that often entice donors with the promise of free cremation services.
Okay. So I'm gonna, before you continue on that, because I come from a veterinary background.
I love your little. I do that too.
I don't know why.
What is this? Why do we
Because I come from a veterinary background. I don't know. I'm gonna try to just tie my hands under the desk here. But can
I just ask you one question real quick? So the people that get the free Patreon, because just so you guys know, we did make not free Patreon. Our microbrews. Do they get the videos? Are they going to see this? Okay, so I don't have to explain what I'm. Okay.
You got microbrews, yeah. But there's not just the audio on Patreon. It's
I'm just checking because because when we do our regular recordings, we often have to explain our body movements.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I don't have to.
So you're talking. So what you just said to go back, is that they entice them about donating bodies or body parts or whatever, for free cremation services or whatever.
Yeah.
So working in the veterinary field, especially in emergency medicine, it was a huge thing where a lot of times families have been already spent exorbitant amount of monies on their pet's care to try to save them for like very intense and intricate and complicated ailments and stuff like that ultimately, unfortunately, leads to having to put their pet down. And one of the options, and like in my role, my role was essentially going in and talking to these families about their options and their like final wishes and stuff for their pets. And one of the options that you can discuss, especially for families who are financially constrained, is that like, well, you know, there is the option of donating your pet's body to science. And then once they're done with it, essentially, it'll get cremated and you can have the cremains back. Or something. But I'm not sure if that's necessarily true because of whatever, like the embalming fluid and stuff that they use to preserve the body for the sake of performing scientific things on them and that sort of thing. I don't think that they could actually ever return. Even the ashes were contaminated at that point or something, but I don't know. But anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. Like I did have to deal with that.
I'm like, and this is just me speculating because I kind of like, so this is, when I started covering this, I cannot remember which one of the cases that I'm like the cases, specific cases I'm going to cover is the one that I can't remember off the top of my head now, which one is the one that motivated me. But when we get there, I will tell you. But I specifically looked for cases in Canada and found nothing. But what you just told me might have just answered that. And I'm just speculating here, but it just kind of like started rolling in my head because we have free healthcare. We don't have that, like that struggle where we have to pay for our loved ones' medical care the way that they do in the United States. Like if you get cancer in the United States, that could bankrupt your family.
Right. But that's different. It's like that's euthanasia. That's giving up on like life saving measures is different than saying like, if you can't pay for cremation services, then you can donate.
Same thing though.
Science.
If you've already spent thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like when like you still have to pay for the euthanasia of your pet. But if you can't afford the cremation services or like the memorial services for your pet, then you can opt to donate their body to science. But you still either have to your pet has died in our care or like not saying like we've not done every life-saving measure humanly possible. But euthanasia or death aside, that portion aside, if you can't pay for funeral services or cremation services or something like that, because that can get very expensive, then there's that option.
Well, it's probably just more regulated in Canada than it is there. I couldn't find any specific. Like,
I'm not sure, but it could be also very, very different between pets and humans.
But it's just that was just my brain kind of like turning because I looked and I was like, why doesn't this happen in Canada? So, but anyways, the promise of free cremation services. So this lack of comprehensive regulation has given rise to a myriad of ethical concerns. The body broker industry essentially treats human bodies as commodities.
I don't like body broker industry as a name. Can we change that?
Sure. What do you want to call it? What do you?
I don't know yet.
Think about it. We'll get back to that. We'll put a pin in that one. So, the commodities is buying and selling them for profit. This raises questions about the respect and dignity afforded to the deceased and can be deeply distressing for their families. Additionally, the lack of oversight can lead to improper handling and disposal of human remains.
Sorry, that's a choo-choo train.
Further compounding these ethical concerns.
I don't think the train shows up in the
episode. So you guys probably have
it's very distracting for us.
Another significant issue, because the body broker industry doesn't have enough of those. Another significant issue is the lack of transparency surrounding the use of the donated bodies. Families who donate the bodies of their loved ones are often unaware of how those bodies are used. They may be used for medical training, research, or even sold to device companies. Okay. All right. This lack of transparency can leave families feeling misled and betrayed, adding to their grief and distress.
Oh, yeah.
The profit-driven nature of the body broker industry has fueled these ethical concerns. Body brokers supply cadavers and body parts to medical training programs, research institutions, and device companies, often for a significant profit. This commercialization of human remains has prompted calls for stricter regulations and oversight. In response to these concerns, legislative efforts have been initiated to address the vulnerabilities of the body broker industry and ensure
the BBI,
the dignified treatment of human remains. One such effort is the Consensual Donation and Research Integrity Act, which aims to establish standards and accountability within the industry. This legislation seeks to strike a balance between the legitimate needs of medical research and training and the ethical imperative to treat human remains with respect and dignity.
And just to, for anybody who doesn't know, again, I should have mentioned this too. As far as I know, with like animal bodies, when you opt to donate, essentially and this is in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah. Is that the body of your pet will go to the University of Calgary's animal veterinary program or whatever. And then up and coming veterinarians and whatever year they're in will have the opportunity to learn how to surgerize an animal and where to make incisions, and then they'll get to explore the innards and where things are and that sort of thing. So I would assume that would be kind of similar in human medicine. Yeah. However, it's not as regulated, so there's obviously issues with that, especially in the States.
Feel like though, like in that perspective with the vet thing, like you're already dealing with a licensed, reputable vet. Mm-hmm. My understanding is this body broker industry is like, you don't like, this is not your doctor's office. Yeah. This is like a third party that you would reach out to and be like, I would like to donate my, like you know
where
what I mean?
Is your mom at this point? Is she in your car?
In the trunk? Right. I don't know, like that.
Is this like a consignment?
It's fucked. But so I'm gonna highlight for you 3 notable cases that involve body brokers.
Oh my god!
The first one is the one that I was looking into. That like
I already have
because there is one that I am gonna cover that we've actually discussed previously on a podcast because it was a newer case.
Okay.
So the first one is in 2014, the FBI conducted a raid on the now defunct Biological Research Center, Inc., so BRC in Arizona. So we're going to call it the BRC from now on. That's the Biological Research Center. Okay. The scene they uncovered was nightmarish, resembling something out of a horror film. The raid was part of a larger investigation into the company's operations, and it revealed a shocking lack of respect for human dignity and blatant betrayal of the trust placed on them by families who had donated the bodies of their loved ones for scientific and medical research. The BRC was a body donation company, like a company outside of a hospital, just like you
like
could
a consignment company. Here's
like I'm just gonna start a body donation company like that. Anyways,
seriously,
they were supposed to use the donated bodies for legitimate scientific and medical research purposes. However, the FBI raid revealed that the company was engaged in a number of unethical and illegal practices. Bodies were dismembered without consent, body parts were sold for profit on the black market. The operation's sheer scale was horrifyingly vast. Authorities uncovered an astounding 10 tons of frozen human remains. A gruesome assemblage encompassing thousands of individual body parts. The dismemberment of the bodies was entirely incourageous, with the stated objective of donations giving rise to unsettling questions about the genuine motives behind the enterprise. The McCabe collection of the McCabe collection of frozen body parts painted a chilling picture of a vast, disturbing operation. The sheer quantity of human remains, a staggering 10 tons, indicated a large scale endeavor. A lot less than 10 tons. Like, this is a ridiculous amount of frozen.
Hold on. I want to figure out how many elephants that is.
Yeah.
I don't know why it has to be elephants, but how many elephants is 10 tons? Oh, God.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so while a single elephant can weigh up to 7.5 tons, it's difficult to give a precise number. 10. However, 10 tons is roughly the weight of 1.3 to 1.4 African elephants. That's still a lot.
But that's 10 tons of just like body parts.
Yeah.
Like arms and legs and feet and hands.
Feet and hands.
Feet
and hands and elbows and knees.
Feet and hands. Okay. So it indicated a large scale endeavor that expanded far beyond any legitimate medical research purpose. The grim discovery raised profound questions about the true nature of the enterprise and the motivations driving those involved. The dismemberment of the bodies was particularly troubling. The manner of which the bodies had been dismembered was not only disrespectful, but also entirely inconsistent with the stated purpose of the donation of medical research or education. This, it suggested a more sinister motive, hinting to a possible black market for body parts or illegal activities.
Because if it was a surgical thing, then it would be like a surgical removal or excision or something like that. So what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that it was like a fucking hack job.
Yeah, fucking hack job of like not even like specifically cut in a place that like makes sense.
No, it was
And then they were all just like thrown in a big pile into a freezer.
Yeah, it was like one of those.
Yeah.
What do you call those fucking, not a jigsaw, but like those handheld little all saws. It was like an all saw. An all saw to like all saws, or I don't know what fucking
Sawzall.
Sawzall.
Yeah, also Sawzall. Yes. Yeah. They probably just like went to the
blue job.
They probably just went to Home Depot and bought a Sawzall and just like chopped up these bodies. But so Mark Conner, a former FBI assistant special agent, provided expert testimony in a civil lawsuit regarding the conditions.
Megan's just turned Boston.
So regarding the condition at the BRC, his testimony painted a deeply disturbing picture of a scene he encountered. He described a horrifying spectacle of mishandled human remains, including bodies that had been cruelly sewn together in a Frankenstein manner.
I beg your finest fucking pardon right now.
Yes. And that was like,
you just human centipeded me.
Yes, dude. Like these parts, like these people were all dismembered and then like
God.
sewn together.
What
to,
the
like
fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So this is not legit, guys. The BRC is not a legit company. Do not donate your loved ones to the BRC. Well, they don't exist anymore. But So anyways, this was a complete disregard for dignity of the deceased. Adding to the gruesome scene, if it gets any worse than that, Quinair recounted finding piles of unidentified body parts scattered throughout the facility, further highlighting the company's failure to maintain proper records and respectful handling procedures. The extent of the disarray was evident in his description of buckets and coolers overflowing with severed limbs and heads, a chilling testament to the company's gross negligence and mishandling of human remains.
I'm so sorry about the facial expressions, noises, but like, I'm sorry, what year did this happen in? 2014. I did the thing again where my hand gets like this. I did like the chicken wing hand because I'm so uncomfortable. I am so uncomfortable.
Okay, so the grim reality of the situation painted a harrowing picture of a facility operating in the shadows, far removed from the norms of legal and ethical conduct.
And I'm sorry, why do I picture Costco? Like a Costco warehouse
filled with just like coolers and
why do I
buckets
picture wholesale body
severed
parts?
limbs? Yeah,
membership only.
Yeah.
You're checking receipts as you exit.
That's the part that like,
but also free like $1.50 wieners.
You get a free pop, refillable free pop.
Creepers.
Oh. So the bodies entrusted to their care had been desecrated, treated with shocking lack of respect that betrayed the fundamental principles of human dignity. The investigation revealed a facility that had lost its way, a place where human bodies were no longer viewed as vessels of life, but a mere object to exploit for profit.
Like my son likes to dismember his Lego men, and I'm so worried.
I do that too. I mean, I don't.
You're like, oh, explode it. I'm like,
oh, that's like, yeah.
I love you.
I remember being a kid, and I always loved to like. Do you know, like rip the Barbie's legs off? Like,
I guess I did that too. Like, you like popping out of the joint.
Like
you like that sound?
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, and I think that okay. Like I just
same.
I'm interested in true crime. It's like I've never committed a crime before.
I know, and I would never work for a body broker, like ever.
Ew. Sounds like a mortgage.
Ugh, yeah.
Gross.
So these families had made the difficult decision to donate the bodies of their loved ones to the BRC, the Biological Research Center, with the understanding that their selfless act would contribute to advancements in medical and scientific research. They trusted that the BRC would treat the donated bodies with the utmost dignity and respect, adhering to ethical guidelines and industry standards. The families were given assurance that the bodies would be used solely for research purposes, that they would not be dismembered or sold for profit, and that any remaining remains would be cremated and returned to the families.
Okay, so I'm still I'm still stuck on the fact that somebody or some people buddies sewed pieces together to create this Frankenstein type thing. Who? Why? I need to understand the pathology around this. And I imagine that that's not going to happen in a microbrew.
No.
But like, I just needed to say it out loud.
Yeah.
My flappers be gasted right now.
Yeah. These assurances, however, proved to be tragically false. An FBI raid on the RBC and subsequent investigation uncovered the disturbing and gruesome reality. The donated bodies were not handled with the promised respect and care. Instead, they were treated as mere commodities, callously dismembered and even commingled.
Commingled? No! What the fuck does that mean? What is the definition? Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Hi, Google. Hey, Google. What the fuck is happening right now? Okay. Commingled.
Commingled.
How do you spell that?
COMMINGLED. Commingled? I'm like, commingled? Commingled.
Commingle.
Commingled.
Past tense commingled. Mix, blend.
Oh, God. No.
I don't want to. I don't want to do this anymore.
That's horrible. Oh, God. Okay.
As in, the dust had commingled with the rain.
Yeah. They even uncovered that some had been sold to the military for blast testing.
Oh my God.
A practice that often occurred without the consent or knowledge of the deceased families.
I just want to... I just want to explain that we're laughing because we're uncomfortable, not because it's actually funny.
No.
We are so uncomfortable right now.
It's horrifying.
Hearing about this, and like Megan says, she wrote this a long time ago, and this is again like new to her now. It's fresh in her mind. We are not laughing at the circumstance. We're laughing at how uncomfortable this is, and this is just our defense mechanism. So please understand that.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of you do if you're listening to our podcast anyways.
Yeah.
But
it's dark humor.
That's where we're coming from, okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Mingled.
Families
co-mingled, I think is what it is. Co-mingled. Not commingled, but co-mingled.
Commingled. Yeah. Families who had received cremated remains were left with the agonizing uncertainty that the ashes might not even belong to their loved ones.
That's another thing too. And that's another thing that I will say. I don't know. Maybe I'm like piggybacking in the wrong way here, but like just because I have that knowledge and that experience is like I've been to the factory in Calgary where they do the cremation of pets and everything. And I know the process. I've seen the process that they go through. And it's like when you choose a private cremation, it's like that's why it costs so much more for private cremation, is because they're not able, like you're basically monopolizing that incinerator for your own pet for X amount of hours that it takes to cremate your pet. And in a general cremation or a communal cremation, it doesn't cost as much because they can put a pile of pets in one, because you're not getting those ashes back. In a private cremation you are, and so you're guaranteed that those are your pet's ashes. In this scenario, obviously not true, because there's no care given to who's who in the zoo.
No, and they don't even have the body parts labeled that are there. Like they don't even know.
Right.
That's terrifying. Oh, so over 30 of the family members took legal action against the BRC, filing a civil lawsuit seeking damages for the profound emotional and mental distress inflicted upon them by the company's actions. The lawsuit painted a harrowing picture of the RBC's conduct. The disturbing allegations centered around the mishandling of the illegal sale of the donated human bodies. A practice the authorities claimed had been ongoing since at least 2007. Stephen Gore.
Don't like that name.
I know.
Don't like that at all.
Stephen Gore, the owner of our BRC, sorry.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Fired. Immediately fired.
He's the owner.
No, you're done.
He ultimately faced criminal charges in his role in the operation. In 2015, he pled guilty to illegally conducting an enterprise and was subsequently sentenced to 12-month deferred jail time and 4 years of probation.
Are you fucking me right now?
I'm not kidding. That's real. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of that one. Yeah, that's all he got.
That's all he got.
12 months deferred.
Desecrating these bodies. How many bodies? Like
between 2007 and 2014 when he got fucking shut down, like probably thousands.
Insane. at least an elephant's worth of weight in limbs alone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Megan.
Yeah.
What a night this has been.
I know. It's been wild.
You blew my mind. I blew you mind. You mind. Your mind.
You mind.
You mind. I blew your mind.
So the next one that I'm going to cover is the one that we mentioned because this one is more recent. This one was from 2023 when we were already a podcast. So Megan Hess and her mother, Shirley Kosh, proprietors of Sunset Mesa Funeral Homes in Montrose, Colorado, exploited grieving families by operating a body broker service called Donor Services from the same location as their funeral home.
Shady.
Mm-hmm. For years, they deceived families who entrusted them with the care of their deceased loved ones, harvesting and selling body parts and sometimes entire cadavers without consent of the families.
Oh, I think I've heard about this one.
They engaged in patterns of deception and disregard for both the law and the families of the deceased. Not only did they sell body parts without proper consent, but they also shipped bodies and body parts that had tested positive for infectious diseases, falsely representing them as disease-free. This reckless act put unsuspecting recipients at the risk and violated the trust placed on them by the funeral home professional. Furthermore, Megan Hess and her mother, Shirley Kosh, showed a blatant disrespect for the wishes of the families they served. They forged the donor document authorization forms.
I know this one, yeah.
Allowing them to sell the remains even when the families had explicitly declined the donation. Families who had paid for cremation services were often provided with counterfeit remains.
My God.
This betrayal of trust compounded the grief and suffering of those who had already lost their loved ones. So they got fake remains.
Here's the thing is, like, I can see it. I don't know how it works with humans, but like with animals, like I said, you can either choose to have the remains back in an urn and you pay extra, or not, and it's a general cremation and they'll do with them the cremains what they want to or whatever. Like you usually spread them on tree farms, whatever, because it's good for the earth. However, I don't know how it works with humans, but like if you can elect to not have the cremains returned to you or not, but like in the event that that's the case, is like, then why are you doing this to families who are wanting them back?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's right to do it for families who don't want them back, but it just seems like, I don't know, if I was a criminal and doing fucking shady fucking shit with bodies, that would be the route I'd take. But
I didn't write this into the case, but I believe that I read that some of the like coffins were actually buried with nothing in them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Their actions ultimately caught up with them in 2023, because we did mention this in our like news. We did mention it like,
Yes, this is the one. Yes.
Yeah. They, when they faced federal prosecution for mail fraud and aiding and abetting, the court recognized the severity of their crimes and the devastating impact they had on hundreds of victims. Megan Hess was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, while Shirley Kosh received 15 years.
Okay, and so the other person was sentenced to
12 months deferred and 4 months probation. And he managed an entire operation, like
a Costco warehouse full of bodies and body parts, and having employees that sewed them together to create a Frankenstein.
Their case involved a staggering of 560 victims. This shed light on the egregious abuses that can occur within the unregulated body broker industry. It highlighted the need for stricter oversight, because the BRC one didn't. God.
Right.
And to stricter oversight and regulation to prevent such exploitation in the future. In response to the case, Colorado implemented changes to its state laws regarding funeral home professional licensing, aiming to ensure that those entrusted with the care of the deceased uphold the highest standards of ethical conduct.
Oh my God.
The last case of body broker industry that I'm going to bring to you is the Harvard Medical School body part scandal, which was publicly revealed in 2023. However, I do not recall it. It sent shockwaves through the medical and academic communities. I guess we're not part of either of those, so we missed it. Exposing a disturbing betrayal of trust within one of the world's largest prestigious institutions. Like, who has not heard of Harvard Medical School?
Oh my God.
At the center of the scandal was Cedric Lodge, the manager of the Harvard Medical School morgue.
With a name like Cedric, I don't trust you.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was accused of engaging in the macabre practice of stealing and selling body parts that had been generously donated to the school's anatomical gift program. And anatomical gift program.
Ew, I don't like the name of that.
Yeah. This program, like similar ones at other medical institutes, depends on the generosity of the individuals who, after death, with the wish to contribute their bodies to science for the advancement of medical education and research. The donors and their families trust that their remains will be treated with respect and dignity and used for the intended noble purposes.
And so, before you continue, I just want to mention, we don't know what it's like in the States with that stuff, but like in Canada, for our American listeners or wherever you are, on our we get a healthcare card, and on the back of it, you can write select whether or not you're a donor. Yeah, an organ donor. Organ donor.
They put it on your license now.
Yeah,
there's a little heart on it.
Yes,
and it says donor.
But does it specify?
No, but it's recorded in your medical records, and I did it. I
don't know if you can actually donate your entire body.
No, it's your organs and your skin.
Yeah, which your skin is your largest organ of your body,
but not your whole body. No,
yeah.
I think that's probably a different program that is not as easily. But when was it that there was like a big push for it a few years ago, and they were like, oh, you can just go online, and I think it was during COVID. They were like, you can just go online and donate your organs. And we did it. So now it's on I got a little heart on my driver's license that says donate.
I don't have that, but I did write on when I was younger, I wrote on my, my healthcare card. I was like,
I did too.
Like only my eyes and skin or something morbid. Yeah. Something very morbid. And I should probably change it. I don't know if I feel that way, but I don't know how I feel, but take what you want. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything with it. Yeah. Here on out.
It kind of makes sense though to have that on the driver's license. Cause if you're going to be, for example, if you're in a car accident and it's really bad, they pull out your driver's card. Like when you donate, your body, it's urgent. You still have to be kind of alive, and if you do die, they have to remove that and transport it immediately. So it does make sense, but so the actions of Cedric Lodge and his alleged accomplices shattered this trust. They are accused of taking body parts, including skin, bones, brains, and even whole heads, and selling them to a network of buyers, including artists,
here's a head,
collectors, and even individuals with bizarre fetishes.
Oh my God.
Lodge allegedly carried out his scheme over an extended period, taking body parts from the morgue and selling them to buyers through online platforms. Details of the alleged crimes included taking dissected body parts and using the U.S. Postal Service to ship them.
You guys, you can't do this shit, man. I don't know what is wrong and what you need. You can't do this. This is not the answer. Yeah. You can't do this.
Yeah. His activity was discovered during an internal investigation, and obviously the school notified authorities. The scandal has resulted in numerous lawsuits from affected families who feel deeply betrayed by the institution's failure to safeguard the remains of their loved ones. The incident has also raised serious questions about the oversight and security measures in place at medical schools that accept body donations, and as further fueled the debate surrounding the need for a stricter regulation within the body broker industry, even where reputable institutions are concerned.
Like, maybe stop calling it body brokerages.
Yeah.
Because this isn't insurance.
No.
It's not mortgage. It's
such a morbid name.
Lives.
Yeah. The shocking scandal surrounding Harvard Medical School morgue and its anatomical is it an anatomical gift program exposed a multitude of deeply concerning issues. First and foremost, it cast a harsh light on the glaring inadequacy of oversight and security protocols within these institutions. The fact that such an egregious misconduct could occur and persist for so long raised serious questions about the effectiveness of existing safeguards and the ethical standards upheld by those in positions of authority. The damage to the reputation of Harvard Medical School and their gift program was significant, and the repercussions of the scandal continue to be felt to this day. Moreover, the scandal underscored the disturbing potential for the exploitation and the exploitation of human remains, even within a setting that is governed by strict ethical guidelines and regulations. The notion that donated bodies intended for noble purposes such as medical research and education could be so callously mishandled and even sold for profit is a stark reminder that the ever-present risk of human greed and moral bankruptcy. The fallout from these scandals are far-reaching, prompting calls for sweeping reforms and a thorough reevaluation of the policies and procedures governing the handling of body donations.
This is what I don't understand is like this. One dude gets 12 months or whatever. I know. Whatever, deferred, literally, like, in comparison to the fucking awful crimes. And I'm not saying like one is, but obviously there's a comparison scale because they compare it based on, like, they have to sentence you to an amount of time based on how severe your crime is. How is this not as bad as, like, I just don't understand. Like, if you're found to be desecrating human remains, like, you're fucking with human remains at this point.
It probably might have something to do with the legal documentation, because the BRC was actually like, people were actually willingly donating these human remains to them without, like, and I mean, maybe it was not specified in the documents, like it was vaguely, but the one with the two women at the morgue, they were literally forging documents and selling body parts when the families explicitly said no. Like, there's fraud in there. Like, that in my opinion is a lot worse. Like, it's all terrible. Absolutely. But that would be so much more devastating to uncover than knowing that, oh shit, this body that I willingly donated was treated in this way. Like, that would be devastating. But to find out that, like, I might have put an empty casket in the ground, or this bag of fucking remains that I have might not really be my loved one. Like, that
there's no guarantee. Yeah.
And the Harvard Medical School thing, the only reason, like, is like, it's such a big deal because, like, it's fucking Harvard Medical School. Yeah. Like, that's a huge institution that is known like worldwide. For now, like, you would expect better from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, Megan. Yes. Fucking blew my mind tonight.
I know. This is like a full episode.
I know. It's always a full
You're welcome, guys. You get like 2 episodes today.
Well, Thank you so much, Megan.
You're welcome.
Again, tell all your friends that microbrews are free if they sign up for Patreon.
Just for the month of April, yeah.
Again, no credit card is required, so don't let that scare your friends.
Yeah. And if you are watching for the first time,
hi,
I'm Megan.
I'm Christy.
And these are us. This is us.
And we are
Homebrew MICROBREW. Woo! Okay. All right, guys. You know where to find us.
Yes.
If you found us here, you know where to find us. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.